All right, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome in. So today I'm going to be dropping the Cardi B and Offset reading. Trying to get that one pushed out. I know I've been saying I was going to drop it, so I'm doing that today. And basically, we're just going to look into the situation. I know Cardi B has tried to move on with Stefan Diggs, and I know Offset got something going on too. I don't know the girl or the groupies that he's dealing with, but I do know they have both tried to go in different directions with people. However, I wanted to look into see if they're going to be able to like reconcile their differences down the line, or like what's to come for, just the co-parenting and things that they have going on, as well as their careers. Like, let's just see how everything plays out. So as you all are coming in here, feel free to ask your questions, drop your questions, and then yeah, I'll answer them to the best of my capability. Now, first, I want to look at like Cardi B. Like, I really am interested in her right now. I know she's got like this album she dropped. I'm trying to remember what the name of her album was that she just dropped. So, hey, Sierra, how are you? Let me see. So, let's look at her album she just dropped. All right, let's see. So, Cardi B just dropped the album. And am I the drama? Well, there you go. So Cardi B just dropped the album "Am I the Drama." Now I know Offset has dropped some music too. I don't know if he has like an actual album though, like yet, but I know he has some music that he's dropped recently. So we're just gonna kind of looking to see what's coming for them too. I'm driving, so I'm gonna be listening. Okay, cool. So first thing I guess I want to know is just like when it comes to the situation between Cardi B and Offset, like are they going to officially divorce this time, right? Because I know they have kind of gone back and forth with it over the years, and then they get back together, and then it's like, boom, they back at it again. So my first question would be, are they going to officially divorce this time? Okay, I know they're in separation, things like that, but I haven't really seen any like headliners. She didn't drop it yet. It comes out in September. Okay, cool. So she's getting ready to drop her album. Okay, cool. Cool, cool. All right, so let's just kind of look at, their situation. Are they going to fully go for divorce this time? It feels like it because I mean, like I'm not a Cardi B stan by any means necessary, but just based on how bad it had got, and now that they're actively being seen with other people, it kind of makes me feel like they are going to actually fully go through with their divorce. Okay, but let's just see. When it comes to Cardi B and Offset, are they going to officially divorce? Let's just say by 2026, because we're pretty much almost done with 2025, which is super crazy. But will Offset and Cardi be officially divorced by 2026? Now, I know Cardi's a Libra, Offset's a Sagittarius. I do know that off the top of my head. Okay, so we got the Four of Cups, which we know the Four of Cups can signify just being very like, um, bored or not wanting to be bothered. Okay. And we have the Four of Wands here as well. All right. So just right off the bat, I see both of them have reached a point of no return in this marriage. They are both discontent with each other. I don't know necessarily all of Offset's side of the situation, nor do I know all of Cardi B's, but I feel like that it's ran its course and they're both just at this point ready to get it over with. Okay. Now, we do have the Seven of Wands here. Now, I know Offset's the fire sign of this situation. So I just see him like he's kind of more in a defensive mode or he's like deflecting right now. And I know that we have seen that like he has been on certain like posts and things like that, just kind of talking crazy about, Cardi and things like that. So he's in a Seven of Wands, which Seven of Wands can represent a wounded warrior or someone who has been up against a lot of things and they're just standing their ground. Okay. So I see him kind of like he's a little bitter with how things have ended. Okay. Which I feel we all have seen that it's coming out like that he is a little bitter about how things are ending. Now, this is Cardi. Okay. Now, Cardi B is the air sign. She's the Libra. So for her to come out as a Knight of Swords is someone who they just pop off at the mouth. They don't care how you feel, what you think. Like they're going to speak their truth. And they're also going to speak their truth first. Now, for him to come out as the Seven of Wands and her the Knight of Swords, it makes sense. I feel like that he feels away because I think Cardi B has kept a lot of stuff under the rug about them too, right? And so she's really just let it air all out. Like she is, even in her music, I feel the songs that she's coming out with, people are going to hear the truth about what she went through with him and things like that. And I feel like Offset is very defensive. Okay. He's very defensive about that. And then we have the world. Okay. And the reason why is because, again, you have the world seeing the truth. You have the world seeing something, a perception. Even if he feels like it's not his truth, there the world is siding with Cardi. Okay. Now, if I look at the world card, there's fixed sign energy all on this. So I wouldn't be surprised by Libra season if some more stuff comes out about him. Okay. If she drops another bomb about the situation or some drama pops off in the social media because we have the world card here. All right. But I just see, it just getting to one of those places where both of them are feeling away obviously about things. So let's look at Cardi B's energy towards Offset. Okay, what is Cardi B's energy towards Offset? Okay, so the first energy or the first card that came out was the Four of Wands with the Hierophant. Okay, so her energy towards Offset is, I heard, I trusted you. I trusted you. I believed in you. I really do think that Cardi B definitely is a woman that likes to be married or she likes to be in a committed relationship. She's not really the type that likes to be kind of loose with things. So for her, like she feels like that she sacrificed a lot for this marriage and even maybe more so her morals because the Hierophant represents your morals. It represents how you grew up, how you were taught, how you were raised. And I feel like that she may feel like she kind of sacrificed a lot for this image with him and this marriage. Okay. Um, but we do have the Page of Wands here with the Knight of Cups. All right. And I feel like that, she's realizing that she kind of settled, with him because he's coming out as a Page of Wands and a Knight of Cups towards her and a Knight of Pentacles. So I feel like Cardi is really just disappointed. Okay. She thought that Offset was going to be her person. They were going to grow old together. They were going to retire from music together, whatever, maybe even run a business together, things like that. Like she saw so much potential in their marriage, right? Despite all of the things that was going on, despite the fact that she knew that Offset wasn't really fully giving her what she deserved, she stuck with it, which I know Libras are like that. They will try their best to be peacemakers or just kind of stick things out, okay? And she's admitting like she knew that she settled for Offset. um I feel like that, and she regrets it to an extent because This was not like a situation where she was just dating someone and, she saw the red flags and she walked away. Like, this was a situation where she got heavily invested, even financially. There could be also feelings of like he slowed her down because the Knight of Pentacles is here. So I feel like Cardi B feels like that if she would have focused more on her career or did more things for herself, I think that she would have, you know, I feel like that's what she would have wanted to do. But instead, she took a risk on this relationship because she saw potential in her and Offset. Okay. Her album comes out during Libra season. That makes sense then why I said there's going to be more things that are revealed through her music. Okay. Now let's see how Offset's feeling about Cardi B. So I see Cardi B, she could, and I'm going to be honest with y'all, she honored her marriage. Like, she doesn't come off like she wanted. Well, obviously, most women don't want this to happen, right? When they really love a man. But she really did try to see the best in him. Even when he showed her, that he can do the fool. Now, let's see, how does Offset feel about Cardi B? Well, he's got a lot to say. So we got the Three of Pentacles reverse here, right? So the Three of Pentacles reverse, it just could signify someone that feels like, with the Eight of Wands reverse. So this could feel like that with her. Like, he could feel like he's sacrificed too, in a way. Okay. He could feel like he sacrificed some things too. The Three of Pentacles reverse is like something regarding like work or your career. And then the Eight of Wands is reversed too, which talks about slowing something down or it's not going as quickly as you would like it to, okay? And we have the Page of Swords. He feels, what I'm getting from him off the bat is resentment. He's thinking in his head, like, I gave you the marriage. I gave you the kids. This is what you wanted from me. This is what you wanted, and I gave you that. I slowed myself down. He's thinking in his head, he slowed himself down to give her these things, okay? So he's like, you're ungrateful. This is what I'm hearing. Like, you're ungrateful. You should be happy that I gave you all of these things. Okay. And with the Nine of Wands here too, he feels like too, at the end of the day, like he's had his own share of struggles and setbacks. So he just doesn't feel like her reasons are validated because they both feel like they have sacrificed something to be together. Okay. Now I know, like, I don't know much about Offset, but I do know he started off with the Migos, and there was a tragedy that happened and things like that, which that could have definitely affected him as far as like being able to move forward. I feel like they split up before that though. I feel like the Migos split up before that death of Takeoff, but still, like I feel like Offset, he's, like I said, he's in this energy of like pointing fingers and kind of blaming her for the fact that he felt like he kind of sacrificed his career for to be with her, to be together. Okay. And I think he thought that they were going to be a power couple too. That's another message I'm picking up. Like, he thought that they were going to be a power couple, that they were going to work together. Okay. So there may have been times where they stepped on each other's toes when it came to their careers too. Now, I don't necessarily feel like she felt that way, but he might have felt that way. Like, oh, you're dropping the album when we drop an album, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, I need, you're trying to go to the studio. Like, I need to go to the studio. Who's going to be with these kids? Like, crazy stuff, There's a lot of competition. And we also have the Page of Pentacles here. Like I said, the children. Okay. So he's looking at the kids. He's looking at the relationship. And he feels like we don't know the truth about her. That's what another thing I'm seeing. Like, we don't know the truth. Like, he's viewing Cardi as a Queen of Wands. Okay. So that she was a lot more. Queen of Wands can be a little bit of controlling. They could like to call the shots behind the scenes. They could be like, real just heavy. And so he may feel like we don't know the truth about her. Like, she's painting this picture like she's a victim, but we don't really know we don't really know, who she is. Okay. And we have the chariot here, but we have the full reverse here too. So the chariot can signify, like, he thought that this was going to be one of those situations that they were going to be able to just move past again. Like, we all know he's kind of had his fair share of cheating and things like that on her and such. But he didn't think that like she would do this, right? He didn't think that she would do the full energy and she would just air it out and things like that. And then we know about also him questioning the paternity allegedly of that last child. But I believe that they kind of cleared that up. So he wasn't expecting for her to do this full card energy. Okay. He thought that they were going to be able to move past all the problems that was going on between them two. All right. But, we have the sun card here, right? And the sun card talks about things being revealed, things being like the light being shone on you. Okay. So again, he wasn't expecting her to do this. He wasn't expecting for her to pull this type of card. So I feel like at the end of the day, Offset is feeling a little torn and betrayed. You got the Eight of Swords here, and we have the Two of Wands. Now, funny thing is, his energy is coming off like he gave her a chance. This is what's crazy about what I'm picking up from him. Like, yeah, I know I did the dirt. Yeah, I know I did this, but you chose me. You chose me. You chose this life with me. Da 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 da. And any other time you have forgiven me. So why is it different now? And then at the end of the day, now he's thinking like he should have just walked away. He should have just, instead of like reconciling with her in the past, he should have just walked away. So do you guys see like how already it's coming out like he's pointing fingers at her? It's not like he's taking accountability. It's not showing up in the cards that he's taking accountability. He's kind of like looking at her and kind of blaming her for a lot of stuff that's going on. Now, again, I don't know much about like Offset in his career and things like that, but I do feel like he feels like he kind of held back a little bit. Okay. And now you got both of them dropping music at the same time, which I told y'all there was a sense or a level of competition there in their marriage. And that can cause problems when you have a partner that basically is comparing themselves to your success or feeling inferior to your success. And like I said, he feels like he sacrificed to be with her. Okay. That's interesting. All right. So we know that like now things are out there. They have basically both shown that they are done with each other and things like that. So I want to know like what is Offset's true feelings right now that he's seeing Cardi B do her and be with Stefan Diggs. Even if I don't know if Stefan Diggs and Cardi B are still together, I don't know. But initially that knee-jerk reaction, like how does he feel seeing her with him? Okay, so let's look at how Offset felt about seeing Cardi B with Stefan Diggs once it got out that they were dealing with each other. Okay. All right, so we have the star here, which I believe is Cardi. She's the star. And we have the Eight of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups. Okay, so let's look at the Eight of Pentacles to the Knight of Cups. Part of, let me see. Because I sense a level of betrayal. Like, he feels betrayed. Not necessarily by Cardi, because I feel him saying, like, I already knew what she was capable of. I already knew she was going to do something like this. But more so the person that she was with, he feels like this was like a level of some type of betrayal. With the Eight of Pentacles here, too, I feel like possibly him and Stefan Diggs have either worked together or collaborated with each other or something like that in the past. Okay? And so for that Four of Pentacles to be reversed, he was not expecting this to happen. He was not expecting that. He thought that like people in his circle or like people that he was affiliated with, that she would never try. That she would never try to touch those people or be with those people, okay? So I'm seeing right now, he's just sensing some betrayal. And it definitely had him in his feelings. We have the Knight of Cups here, right? The Knight of Cups can be someone who was feeling their emotions are, pretty high. And then they're also more so like not coming from a mature place. So with the Knight of Cups here to the Three of Pentacles, like I just feel like he really felt away, okay? And he feels like that they could have had something going on even during the breakup between him and Cardi. He could have felt like they were doing something because the Three of Pentacles can represent like a third party thing going on. Okay, so he may have felt like they were already messing around with each other, right? Um, so this was news to him, just like everyone else. Page of Wands was a shocking surprise. Like he was not expecting to see this on social media. Okay, he thought that, and like I said, I feel like he underestimated Cardi really, because he thought that Cardi B was going to be single. Like, who would want you? You got all these kids. You're pregnant. You know, like I ain't worried about you moving on. I'm not worried about you finding no one else. Okay. And he was pretty secure in that until she showed him differently. Okay. So that's why you got this reaction of him really going in on her on social media, making posts, talking crazy, you know, things like that with the Hermit reverse, because it's like he felt like he got caught off guard. And again, he was hurt by the person that she was dealing with, because like I said, I don't know if him and Stefan Diggs had like, you know, worked together in the past or anything, like just they were affiliated in some type of way. All right. And we have the Nine of Cups here. All right. Now, the Nine of Cups is a very selfish card. It's a self-loathing card. Okay. So when he noticed or realized that they were dealing with each other, he definitely wanted a lot of empathy from people. He wanted people to see, like, see, this is what I was showing y'all. Like, she ain't to be trusted. Like, this is why I wanted y'all to see. Okay. The Nine of Cups is someone who, like I said, they're very self-centered in their own emotion. They don't know how to process other people's emotions or things like that. They want people to focus in on how they feel at that moment. Okay. So I definitely see him just like tripping out, seeing that on social media, or just finding out that her and Stefan Diggs were together. Now, as far as like Cardi B and Stefan Diggs, I really want to know, because like I know like I saw like that allegedly Stefan Diggs was one of Offset's like favorite athletes, like one of them. I don't know if Stefan Diggs is a basketball player, but I saw allegedly that was one of his favorite basketball players. So I want to know, like, did Cardi B do this for laughs and giggles, or is it something genuine that she has for Stefan Diggs? Like, you know, that they really feel like they were meant to be together. Okay. So what was Cardi B's intentions with um, dealing with Stefan Diggs? He thought she would wallow in sadness. Exactly. He didn't expect for her to move the way she did. He did not. What was Cardi B's intentions with dealing with Stefan Diggs? All right. Now we do have the High Priestess. We do have the High Priestess here. So the High Priestess, she already knew. Like, obviously, this was not some type of situation where she was completely unaware that like her Stefan Diggs and Offset knew each other. You know, like I said, a similar circle. So this was not one of them situations where like it was out of nowhere. This was definitely something premeditated. She already knew who she was going to go after. I feel like she knew who she was going to go after. Now, granted, there was some type of attraction to each other. Now, I'm not saying that she stepped out, but you know how you dealing with a guy and his homeboy like checking you out, and maybe you're not making no moves towards that person because you're in a relationship. However, you notice that that person's looking at you. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like with the Ace of Wands here, they were definitely feeling each other. And like I said, the High Priestess here, she already knew who was going to be the next person. Okay. She knew. And then you have the Queen of Wands. So I do feel like she was in a get you, like I'm gonna get you back energy, like fiery Queen of Wands. Like, I don't care how you feel. I'm gonna take action. I'm doing this more so because I'm vengeful. I'm angry. But it wasn't like, you know, she was going towards Stefan Diggs with that energy. Like, obviously she had him, you know, interested in her and things like that. But when it came from Cardi B's energy towards Offset, this was like oh, you got to be a king of wands, so now I'm going to be a queen of wands. Okay. Football player. Okay, he's a football player. Stefan. All right. So, you know, her intentions was, you know, I'm out here. I'm about to go after what I want. And I don't care how he feels. I don't care if he finds out. Okay. I'm going to go after what I want. And so she went after what she wanted with the Six of Cups. Now he was obviously feeling her as well. So I don't feel like this is one of them things that, like, you know, when she approached him, I don't feel like it was one of those things where he was like, oh, I can't do that. Like, you know, I know your man. I know your ex-husband, da-da-da-da. Like, he was in on it too. You know what I'm saying? Like, he knew exactly what he was doing. She knew exactly what she was doing. Okay? So, like I said, it's giving me, like, that one friend that know his one friend ain't no good, and he just waiting on you to walk away, and so he can move in. Similar energy there. And you have the Ace of Swords here, and again, that's that watching card, or it's a card of communication. So I feel like him and her were definitely having deep conversations, or they were talking. Now, was this during her and Offset's, you know, when they were together? Was Cardi and Stefan communicating when her and Offset were together? Were they talking? There could have been a little flirting that was going on, because you got the Knight of Cups here, and we got the Ace of Cups, so there could have been some flirting going on with them too. Okay, I would say when her and Offset were loosely together, like, I don't think that this was at the part where, you know, she was still loudly proclaiming that that was her husband, da 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 da. But I feel like as they started getting rocky, like real rocky, I feel like her and Stefan could have started something then. Okay. And we have the Page of Pentacles, but obviously they had to be careful with how they moved, because she didn't want to blow the cover too soon. Okay. This was like, she wanted it to be a shock factor. She wanted it to be a knee-jerk reaction from Offset, because again, she's getting her lick back. That's how she felt. Like, she wanted revenge. Queen of Wands goes after revenge. So she wanted revenge on Offset. Okay. So with Cardi and Stefan, this is a genuine relationship then, because I see her intentions, and she did like Stefan. This wasn't like this wasn't like a thing where she was just like, just trying to play with someone else's emotions. Like, she really do like Stefan. But I just want to know if they are having a sincere relationship. Now, this is a Three of Swords reverse. Okay? Them two kind of got together in the middle of some other stuff. So the third party energy is here reversed. All right. I feel like that they kind of, like I said, they were starting something when Cardi and Offset were still loosely together. Okay. But he really comes out as the King of Cups towards her. So I feel like that going into it, like, he was definitely invested emotionally in her. He wanted to be with her. He wanted to be with her. Like, he wanted to save her, is what I heard. I wonder what Stefan's zodiac sign is. But he's coming off like he wanted to save her, which is why he was waiting. He was waiting and watching. Let me see Stefan Diggs' birthday. I'm just curious. And if anybody else knows more about them, let me know. Okay. Now, here's the thing. His birthday is November 29th. So he is a Sagittarius, but he's like a November Sagittarius. Interesting. Yeah, he's a Sagittarius. Okay. But he's coming in as a King of Cups towards her. So again, he really wanted to invest in her emotionally. Like, I see him open to a connection with her. Okay. Now we have the Two of Swords coming out. Okay. Now this connection could have moved kind of fast. We all saw it. They were on the boat together, posting each other, things like that. The Two of Swords, I feel like, is Cardi. And she could have just been ready to be loved on and to be, validated. So she could have just went into this with Stefan Diggs more so, just like quickly, like not really taking time off to heal or to process her ending with Offset, which again we saw it. So it's like she was being blinded by the romance, the love, the passion Stefan Diggs has to offer her. Okay, I am seeing her kind of be choosing not to see any red flags if they were present. Okay, and we have the Lovers. So I think they both really did want this. They wanted to explore things with each other. They were open to each other. Okay. Um, but then you have the Ten of Wands here. The Ten of Wands, it signifies to me, like I said, Offset's a fire sign. I feel like the Ten of Wands is Offset, and him not allowing them to have this happily ever after, like him making it hard for them to move forward, whether it be through like taunting them, or like just being a burden, doing things intentionally, things like that, not letting them have no peace. Okay, with the Ten of Wands, because I told y'all Offset was he's in a very spiteful energy. And we have the King of Swords again, which is Offset. A King of Swords can be very ruthless with their mouth. They can be very cold-hearted. They can be very detached. But when it comes to dealing with a new person and trying to be in a new relationship, and you have a King of Swords as an ex, it can be a narcissistic energy. So this could be, again, someone who's trying to self-sabotage. I know that there was something about going around that like Cardi B had a BBL and Stefan basically dumped her because he couldn't deal with the smell and things like that. I personally don't believe that he said that, but I'm going to ask and wonder if that wasn't him, was it like somebody connected to Offset that spread that rumor? Okay. So when it comes to the whole BBL smell statement that was allegedly being put around that Stefan Diggs said, was that true? Did Stefan Diggs say that about Cardi B, about her smell, her BBL smell? No, he did not say that. Ace of Pentacles reversed, okay? He thinks highly of Cardi. He would never say nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Like the stars here, he would never say nothing like that about her. So no, that was not a solid conversation that was had. All right. Now, was the rumor started by anyone affiliated with Offset? Was that rumor started by anyone affiliated with Offset about Cardi B and Stefan Diggs, Three of Wands reversed, and the King of Wands? He's right there. All right. So it could have been someone very close to them. Three of Wands reversed is here, which talks about something at your front door, someone at your front door, and the King of Wands here. So I do feel like it could have been someone that was affiliated with Offset that could have started this rumor, spread it around social media to try to basically diminish Cardi B's image and make it seem like she's just nasty, she don't like to clean her body, things like that, to try to hurt her and taunt her. Okay. But as far as Stefan Diggs, he did not say that. He did not say that. And I feel like they had posted that was not a true statement from him. Okay. So let's look at Offset's side of things. Now I know he was dealing with someone. I don't know who the girl was, an Instagram model. I don't know. But I know he had kind of moved towards someone else too. And I just want to know, like with Offset, and I guess I could look to see who the girl was that Offset was dealing with, because I don't know if she was like an Instagram model or what. Let's see. Offset's new girlfriend, Melanie Jada. Okay, so she's a model. Amidst divorce from Cardi B, they were seen together in public, including a shopping trip and Offset kissing her during a concert. Okay. So as far as Cardi B and Stefan Diggs, I still think they're moving forward. I still think they're a thing. But let's look at Offset and this girl, Melanie Jada. All right. So when it comes to Offset and Melanie Jada, like, how does Offset feel about Melanie Jada? Is it genuine? How he feels about her? How does Offset feel about Melanie Jada? Is it genuine? So she's coming out as a Queen of Wands. So she could be possibly a fire sign, or he's just very attracted to her. She seems to be exactly his type, is what I heard too. Someone he definitely would go for. Okay, so she's definitely in his like what he desires. She's his preference. Okay, the Queen of Wands here. And then we have the Two of Wands reversed here too. Now they are different. They're very different. When it comes to their lifestyles or maybe even just their background. She may not have any children or anything like that or something, but they're coming together. I feel like they are very different though, him and her. Now we have a Three of Swords. Okay, so I'm gonna look too, but were there speculations that him and this girl were dealing with each other before him and Cardi ended things? Because the Three of Swords is here. It doesn't feel like she's new. It doesn't feel like she's new. Cardi B's will her husband on her life. Cardi B also had a lot of ups and downs. We know that. I almost feel like this girl is not new. Like she had been kind of around. Yeah. Okay. So it's possible that this had been going on. What I'm picking up on it too is this could have also been the straw that brought the camel's back. Like she could have found information or seen things where he was talking or dealing with this girl. Because like I said, she does not feel like brand new to him. She does not. And then we have the Justice card here. Okay. And let's look at the Justice card because the Justice card does talk about Libra. That is Libra. And the Hanged One. And the Nine of Swords reversed. So I feel like with him and her, they didn't come out until they did not come out until things were official with him and Cardi being done with each other. She kind of had been hanging in the background. And I feel like that's because this is Cardi. This is her. And she was fed up at this point. I think, every woman has their breaking point when they're done. Which is why I feel like this girl was around before him and Cardi made it official. Now she may not have been the only one, but I just see Cardi B was really hurt by what she discovered. Melanie Offset timeline, because I want to see what they're saying in the blogs about them too. Offset is rumored to be dating Atlanta. Okay, so she is a model, Melanie Jada. They were reportedly seen together during Offset's New Year's Eve performance in Dubai, where they were spotted shopping at a Chanel store. They have been casually dating for a couple of weeks prior to the trip. Neither party has confirmed or denied the relationship. Okay. Yeah, and it says TMZ reports they have been dating for a few weeks and that Offset really digs her vibe, her style, of her company, which, like I said, I saw that. So this was back in January. When did him and Cardi B split? Because I see Cardi B. Now, this is a thing too. I wonder if also this was like a shock to Cardi because he's never. Now people have seen that he's been with different women allegedly or whatever, but she's never seen it to this capacity where they're actually out and about doing anything together. So that makes me wonder too. But that's why Cardi B was in the Nine of Swords because, it stung real bad. She wasn't expecting for all of this to just come out like that. Okay. And like I said, I don't know when they have officially split, her and Offset, but again, this happened in January. Them two being spotted together, Offset and Melanie. But Offset is showing that he's very attracted to her, even though they're very different from each other. Now we have the Four of Wands here, And the Six of Wands with the Queen of Pentacles. That's what I was saying. Like, him and Melanie may have been dealing with each other when him and Cardi were still married, which is why Cardi is coming back for what's hers. Because how dare you parade this woman around and be all on social media and the blogs with this woman spending this money on her when you don't even do what you got to do for your family. Now, I know like there was a alleged post that claimed that Cardi B was saying Offset wasn't taking care of something, like paying for his kids or something like that. But Cardi B is the Queen of Pentacles, right? So she's coming at it like, all right, so since you want to do that, I'm going to come back for your coin. I'm going to come back for your money with the Queen of Pentacles. I'm coming back for your money. But that's what I was saying. This seems like that the timeline for them loosely being done and him popping out with this new chick were similar around the same time of each other, which is why I feel like Cardi B wanted revenge. Okay? Because enough is enough is what I heard. She was done. So this is like, I'm detaching myself. There's no more love here, but I'm coming after you for that money. I'm coming after you for that money. Let's keep going. Yep. And we have a Queen of Swords here too. Again, like I said, this is when Cardi B decided that she was going to detach herself completely from this whole situation. There was no more second chances. I'm about to show you. All right. And with the Chariot here, she seems to already have things in motion. Okay. So the Chariot can signify already having things in motion, or you already knew your move. You already knew what you're going to do. Okay. She may have already been out of the house around this time when things came out, but it gave her more push to move forward with her decision to leave him completely. The 7 of Pentacles, is here. All right. And this is her taking everything she's worked for, all her hard earnings, all her money, all her things, and just moving elsewhere. She's uprooting herself from this situation. Okay. So I'm seeing like Offset and this girl, Melanie, there's passion, there's attraction there, but it doesn't feel like they're going to be a thing 2 years from now. Okay. I'm just being honest. This seems like a classic situation where you end things with the ex, they're bitter, they're whatever, and then they hurry up and jump into something else. And they parade that person all over the place, okay? While the other person is hurting. But the connection between Offset and Melanie doesn't seem secure. It doesn't seem secure, okay? Because here he is, Knight of Wands and the Magician, right? So he's just playing his role. He's playing a role to get a reaction out of the situation with Cardi. This was what the intentions was with that. And she knew that too, which is probably why she's even more pissed, because how dare you, you know? Okay, so that's what I'm seeing for the two relationships between Offset and Melanie, and then Cardi and Stefan Diggs. All right. So let's just kind of move forward. Now, I want to know, will there ever be a chance for them to reconcile things? Would they ever be a thing again? Or is this it? You know, will they go their separate ways for good? And that's all she wrote. Okay. So when it comes to Cardi and Offset, what lies for them ahead of in the future? Like, are they going to reconcile and come back together, or will they fully split? Cardi B and Offset. So we have the Ten of Swords reversed, the Knight of Cups, the King of Pentacles. Interesting. The Page of Wands reversed, Three of Cups, Temperance, and the Five of Wands. All right, you guys. So there's a lot to unpack here. Now, the Ten of Swords reverse is like unfinished business. It's not completely closed out. Although they may decide to divorce, we have the Knight of Cups here. okay, to a King of Pentacles. So I feel like that there could be a moment where Offset kind of gets a little bit immature with the ending that he had with Cardi. Okay. Now he may be in this phase for a little while. We have the King of Pentacles here though, and I want to know who this is. Who is this King of Pentacles? Is this a new person? Okay. Okay. And this page of wands reversed. Now, I saw that Stefan Diggs is a fire sign. I didn't see him being an earth sign, you guys. So I don't necessarily think he's going to be the one that she goes into another like long-term commitment with. They may have their season, but Diggs doesn't feel like her forever either. Okay. However, down the line, I do see someone though that she actually is going to be with, that it goes into something more serious for her. Now, King of Pentacles, they don't have to be an earth sign. But if you want to throw signs in there, they could be a Capricorn towards Virgo, or this could be a business owner, a producer, someone that has power and money. Okay, so the next person that she is going to be with is going to be someone who has some type of power and some money. Okay, like big money. And that could be why Offset is going to be in the Knight of Cups when it comes to her in the future, because of his feeling of inadequacy compared to this person. All right. Now, we have the Page of Wands reversed here with the Three of Cups. As far as Offset goes, I just kind of see him still doing this thing. He's still going to be in this energy of like, party, women, like everywhere, stuff like that. Like, I don't see any like changes coming from his energy, because this is what he truly wants to do. It will be different if like he was more invested in his marriage with Cardi, but he's already showing her, even when they were married, that that's not what he wanted truly. Like, he wanted to be free. So I still see like Offset doing his thing, partying, all that stuff that he's doing right now. Okay. But there's going to be some conflict and drama. Do I feel like the conflict and drama is coming from the fact that Cardi has possibly moved on with a new person and it got serious and he got kids involved and things like that? Yes, I feel like there's going to be drama over custody or the children. Okay, because the Five of Wands is here. And we have the Temperance as well, which is a Sagittarius card. Okay. So they could have issues over the kids, over, him feeling away. But I feel like when I see Cardi, though, I just see her moving into a calmer waters or a calmer life. Right now, she's very fiery. She's very, whatever. Like, she's kind of giving us that Cardi that she was when she first came out. But I see like her going into calmer waters down the line. And we have the Five of Swords reverse here. So Cardi is going to be, I wouldn't be surprised, you guys, if y'all really see her elevate in her career. If y'all see her going through like a spiritual awakening in her career. Okay. I don't see her feeling the need to continue to go back and forth with him. I see her just moving on, moving forward. Although she could go back and forth on the internet with him. Y'all see how she's been like having, shit on the internet and go crazy, things like that. I see her moving out of that energy and moving away from that type of drama, and her going into calmer waters. Okay. Tell me more about Offset. So, like I said, there's room for growth for both. There's room for growth for both, but I see Offset. He is going to come out with someone. Maybe this is the Melanie girl, because she's showing up here as a Queen of Wands and the Justice. Tell me more about the Justice card. Maybe it's Melanie. Yeah. Ooh. So the scales will balance out is what I'm hearing. So right now, he's dealing with the Melanie girl. We all see that. But it feels like the scales will balance out for him and he will move past that too. He'll move past his current connection too. Where will he be headed? Yeah, we have the Star and the King of Cups. Okay. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Do I feel like Offset's gonna go into another long term commitment, get married, have kids, da 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 da? And he may have some kids sprinkle here and there. You know, that might happen. But do I see Offset going in the path of marriage and long term commitment in his future? No. Offset wants his stardom. He wants to be on top again, on top of things. That's where his heart really lies, is his career and his status. So as far as Offset goes, there's gonna be drama with Cardi in the future, but like I said, Cardi's gonna get above that and she's gonna continue to move forward. Offset is going to go towards stardom. He's going to go towards what he feels he lost. So he will get back in the mainstream. He will be featured on more songs. He will be leveraging in that way to where he gains his career back. Um, I'm not saying his career is lost right now, but I know Offset got off track, especially after all the stuff that's happened. But I see him rebranding himself and going into a new version of Offset and him moving forward in that direction. Okay. So we may not see another marriage for him. Um, but we will see him being more involved in like the spotlight, excuse me, different features on songs, more music, more albums, things like that. Like I just see Offset going towards stardom and fame. And that's gonna be his outlet. That's gonna be what he truly desires. Okay. So we may hear about him dealing with some women, you know, but it's not gonna be how it was with Cardi. Okay. So that's what I'm saying for both of them. And I feel like they are going to end up going on the right path for themselves. I feel Cardi's going to do the same. I don't feel like it's just going to be Offset doing his thing. Cardi's going to do her thing too, but Cardi wants a family. You know what I'm saying? Like she doesn't want to be out in the streets. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't. She wants to be a family. She wants to build her legacy and her wealth. Okay, that's why I was saying um, I feel like the next person that we see her get married to is going to be someone that has status, and she has status as well. But they're going to be like a power couple, like she wanted, and she's going to go about her life, and then that's going to be that for her. Okay. She may even start some brand deals and stuff like that. She may do something like that as well. So, overall, will they be able to reconcile their differences? Yeah, there's gonna still be drama, okay? When you're dealing with Sagittarius and Libra, there's gonna still be drama down the line. I don't see it being like kumbaya peaceful between them two. But how they decide to deal with it is different. Like I told you, really Cardi, how Cardi decides to deal with it is I see her down the line not taking that bait, not getting on social media. Like she's more so being she's looking at her career and her status and she's refraining from doing that. Okay. Now she gonna always have a voice. So Cardi B ain't never been the type to be quiet. But as far as her getting on social media and crying and frantic about Offset, no, that's not gonna happen anymore. Okay. So that's what I got for Cardi B and Offset. If you guys have any questions, real quick, let me know in the chat. If you don't, this is where I'm going to end this celebrity reading on them too. I wish both of them the best, honestly. Sometimes you just things don't work out, but at the end of the day, as long as those two people can move forward, that's all that matters. So yeah, that's what I got for them too. Does anybody else have any questions specifically about these two people before I end this celebrity reading? If you do have any questions or comments that you feel that weren't addressed or that you would like to know, feel free to drop comments down and feedback into the chat regarding into and then I will go ahead and try to look at all of them and go from there, okay? All right. Let's see if anybody has any questions before I close this live. He's actually sadness. Oh, you know what? I thought of one. I want to know how Cardi B's album is going to do when it comes out. That is a good question. Before I end this live, I want to see how is Cardi B's album going to do once she drops her album in September. Okay. So when it comes to Cardi B, how is her album going to do when it drops in September? Cardi B's album. Well, we got the Sun card, the Temperance, Ten of Wands here, the Five of Swords, and the Five of Wands. First of all, I think it's going to do excellent. I think it's going to do really well. With the Sun card, hey SB, and I think she's picking the right time to drop that music. People are waiting to see what she has to say. They want to know what happened. They want the inside scoop. Okay, so it's going to be the right timing for her. Okay, and I feel like that her album is going to be a little bit of pain. It's going to be a little bit of like cursing you out, and it's going to be a little bit of like the Five of Wands here, like she's spitting that fire, y'all. So I feel like it's going to be a good album. I think that, like I said, a lot of people are anticipating it coming out. They want to know what Cardi B has to say. And, maybe this album is going to remind people of the old Cardi, the Cardi that came out, a couple, about 8 years ago. So I think it's going to bring back some of those feelings of how she was then. So I think it's going to be a well anticipated album. And I think it's going to do really good for her. I think she's dropping it at the right time. Okay. So that's what I got for Cardi B and Offset. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'm going to go ahead and close this live out. If you have, if you want to go back and play back this reading, I will save it under my playlist for celebrity readings, you guys. Okay. All right. I'm going to end this live. And then if you have any questions, personal readings, I'm going to go into a new live for that. Okay. So I hope you all have a good night and take care. Bye.